Lesson 106.
Jeden Tag.
So, Lisa, do you use this expression every day?
No, but quite often, yes.
A couple of pronunciation notes here. We have the y sound at the beginning for the letter J, and also the devoiced G at the end of the word Tag.
Right.
So instead of Tag with a G sound with your vocal cords vibrating, it's going to be devoiced and sound really more like a K, wouldn't you say?
Exactly.
Let's see if I can pronounce it with an authentic German pronunciation. Jeden Tag.
That's nice. Good job.
So in this lesson, we're learning a few expressions, and along with them, they're getting a few new nouns, like Tag means day. They're learning the word for morning and week.
Yes, so this is quite useful. The jeden, you can put in front of a couple of nouns. Jeden Morgen, jeden Abend. Watch out for Nacht, though, night, because it's feminine, so you want to put jede Nacht. And Woche, also feminine, jede Woche.
And this is an important concept that we covered, I guess about 30 lessons ago, the concept of agreement. So if a noun is feminine and that particular noun has an adjective describing it or modifying it, then the adjective has to be feminine also. And if that particular adjective takes a spelling change, depending on its gender, you have to make sure you're getting the right form of that adjective so it matches the noun. In other words, the noun and the adjective have to match, which is what we call agreement.
And all these little expressions, they give you a time reference here. So they act like an adverbial phrase in your sentence. They tell you when something happened or here how often it happened. We can talk a little bit about sentence order. So if you're using jeden Tag, put it behind the verb, in front of the direct object if you have one, and after an indirect object if you have one. So that's the guideline we give you for now, because that's just the way to make it right every time and to be quite sure you're getting this word order right. You can, however, move it around again later when you're more advanced in the language. Quite typical, for example, time references could go in the first position of a sentence just to kind of stress it. The same as in English, you could put today or each week at the beginning. But different from English, you want to always make sure that the verb remains in the second position in a statement sentence.
Okay, as long as we're here, Lisa, and you're already talking about it now, let's just go ahead and talk about positions. So in this first example sentence, we have, I help every day, ich helfe jeden Tag. The first position is occupied by ich, which is a pronoun, right?
Yes, acts as a subject here.
And then the second position is occupied by the verb.
Helfen, yes.
Okay, so a helpful rule for our listeners pertaining to that verb would be that the verb always needs to be in that second position.
Right. So you could put jeden Tag at the beginning, and what that would do is make it into jeden Tag helfe ich. So you see, helfe really remains in that second position.
So you can't leave out ich. You have to put it in there someplace later, right?
Right.
Now in Spanish, you can actually just leave out the pronoun. It's optional. But in French and German, you can't leave it out. You're required to use the pronoun. So in some languages, you can actually just leave it out. But if you don't put ich first, you have to put it in there someplace later. So let's see if I can do it here. Jeden Tag helfe ich.
Yes.
You know, I could flip it around like that, right?
Exactly.
And then maybe say something more after that. Maybe some adverbs or something.
Yes. You could do the same with the second example sentence here. Ich kaufe jede Woche Essen. And if you want to put jede Woche in the front,
So as we covered in the previous lesson, jede Woche is an adverb in the sense that it's an adverbial phrase. It consists of two words, but they're functioning together. So it's going to take up just one position, right?
Right.
Jede Woche, if we put that first, it's going to just be viewed as taking up only the first position, despite the fact that it consists of two words. So I could say, as you just said a moment ago, jede Woche kaufe ich Essen.
Perfect. You did it very well because you kept the subject close to the verb too. You want to do that. So basically you're just swapping around the verb and the subject.
So when I put ich back in the sentence, after I move it from that first position, I want to tuck it in right after the verb. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Okay. So I would not want to say, jede Woche kaufe Essen ich. I would not want to put ich at the end like that, right?
Right, that would be strange.
That would be weird. Before we go, Lisa, one last thing here about word order. In our first sentence, we have, I help every day.
Mm-hmm.
So we're working with this adverbial phrase, every day. Then in the next one, we have, I buy food every week. So now the adverbial phrase is coming before the direct object.
Right.
Then we have the next one where it's coming after the indirect object.
Yes.
And then we put it all together in the last example. And that sentence has both an indirect object and a direct object. And apparently the adverb is going between them.
Exactly.